In our industry, NAIFA is the voice of the producer. We advocate on behalf of advisors, the products we sell, the clients we serve. With NAIFA members in every congressional district in the nation, we are the loudest and the truest voice of the producer. The American Council of Life Insurers, ACLI, is the trade association whose member companies represent 95% of industry assets. Where NAIFA is the voice of the producer, ACLI drives the public policy and advocacy on behalf of its member companies. We are fortunate to have a great working relationship between our organizations because together we are a tremendous unified voice for our industry. We are excited to have with us Susan Neely. She'll be talking to us this morning about this particular relationship. Susan has been a long-recognized leading voice in public policy and advocacy in Washington, D.C., with extensive experience in the executive and legislative branches, state government, political campaigns, and the private sector. Just over a year ago, Susan joined ACLI as the president and CEO. We are grateful that she has made time to join us here today. Please help me welcome Susan Neely. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Wow. Well, good morning. That was an incredible, unexpected welcome. It's such a pleasure to be with all of you here this morning. I loved the flag ceremony, got a picture of my home state, the great state of Iowa, the Hawkeye State, and I feel well at home there. Yoo-hoo! I wondered where you were. Yes, good morning. Well, thank you, all of you, for inviting me. Thank you, Kevin. We have a particularly good working relationship. He was one of the first to welcome me as I joined a year ago, and our partnership has continued. And thank you, Jill, for the warm welcome and the extraordinary work that you do on behalf of the agents, this industry, and the people who rely on our products and services. Your commitment to advancing diversity and inclusion in the industry is inspirational. You're making a real difference as we embrace inclusion and seek to advocate for all Americans. Well, it is an honor to speak to NAIFA, representing insurance and financial advisors across the country. This time last year, as Jill said, I was just 2 weeks into my new role as CEO of the American Council of Life Insurers. And over the past year, I've spent a lot of time with my ears to the ground, listening. What I heard has only reinforced why I came to this industry in the first place. This industry has a serious purpose and a great heart, and we need to be purposeful about telling that story. Part of our mission at ACLI is to make sure policymakers know about the good work our industry does, not just our economic footprint or business factors, but the way we are answering real needs of American families. I'm inspired by your conference name, Performance and Purpose, because it's about raising your game on behalf of the people that rely on our products and services. At ACLI, we talk a lot about performance, purpose, and people. I share that with you because I think those two words are so important to keep in mind, even as the ground shifts beneath our feet in a changing political and business environment. So let's talk about purpose. There are a lot of forces of dissonance around us today. We are seeing a groundswell in consumer activism and the rise of an anti-business environment. There's a sense of Wall Street versus Main Street, big business versus ordinary working people, bad guys versus good guys. Today, industries that can connect their purpose to Main Street will thrive. And that's the good news for us. Even though we are a $7.2 trillion industry, we have always been Main Street. We have always been for ordinary working people. We are the good guys. But we have to be intentional about sharing what we stand for. I don't tell a lot of war stories, but I sometimes tell stories from my past just to explain how I think. And I'll share one perspective from my time with the global beverage industry. These soda companies had been teaching the world to sing and firing up the Pepsi generation. They were as American as apple pie until they weren't. Suddenly, there were organized activists going after the industry. dragging some of the most valued brands in the world through the mud. So we built a rock-solid advocacy program at the Trade Association with the best lobbyists, grassroots, and media campaigns, which we quickly put into high gear. And yes, we defeated $43 billion worth of soda tax increases. Yes, we sued the city of New York and won. Yes, they appealed and we won. Yes, they appealed again and we won again. Yes, we did all these things. We had many victories. But I assure you, not one of our victories would have happened if we had not gone on the offensive about what we were for. Just last month, the Business Roundtable, which represents CEOs of America's leading companies, redefined its statement on the purpose of a corporation. 181 CEOs signed the statement, including 9 from ACLI member companies. Do you know what that statement of purpose said? It affirmed that corporations play a role in improving our society. It extended the mission of corporations beyond profits and bottom lines and into meeting big societal needs. Successful industries own their purpose. Our deep sense of purpose took root over 100 years ago and continues to flourish. We help American families build a financial safety net that protects them through all stages of life. Helping people take care of the things that matter most is our most critical mission. In fact, our purpose is centered on people. And let's talk about people. The heartbeat of this industry is the people in every way. It's the people that you serve through our products, and it's you, the agents. You are Main Street America. You are the eyes and ears of this industry. You are in the town hall meetings, the PTA meetings, the Sunday school classes. If there's anyone who knows the conversations that are happening in America, it's you. And it's because you know the people you serve so well that you can be a fierce advocate for this industry. You don't just provide a catalog of products, you provide the reassurance to families that things are going to be okay financially in times of loss of a loved one. You help the workers seeking comfort and security in retirement. You guide businesses so they can take care of their employees and can help make sure a family business stays with the family. These are deeply personal issues, and you are there with solutions. And on top of that, you are also asked to keep up with the changing regulatory environment that threatens to restrict the work you do and limit the choices for the people you serve. That's why we together, NAIFA and ACLI, are fighting so hard against a fiduciary approach to standard of care. An approach that may be well-meaning, but would have harsh consequences, exactly the opposite impact for consumers. Did you know the median household income of an annuity owner is $64,000? 8 out of 10 annuity owners have total annual incomes below $100,000. And as many as 4 million middle-class households could have lost access to critical retirement information if the DOL fiduciary rule would have survived. A former NAIFA agent who is now a member of Congress told me his clients were not the owners of the car dealership in town. They were the men and women who worked in the car dealership. They were the men and women coming to buy a minivan after driving their previous family car to 250,000 miles. Now, together, we fought hard against the fiduciary rule for those reasons. And we won our lawsuit that overturned the DOL fiduciary rule. But we know that the challenge isn't over. So now that the SEC has acted, we turn our attention to the states. And we are rapidly increasing our presence there. We need to be able to quantify the harm to measure the impact on those middle-income Americans as a result of fiduciary rules being enacted in the states. ACLI had an excellent roll-up-the-sleeves work session with Kevin and Diane Boyle to develop a mutual plan on the issue and other topics such as genetic testing that will surface in 2020. Some out there say that our industry doesn't have our consumers' best interests at heart when it comes to protecting them. They would be wrong. Consumers are better informed and equipped to make purchasing decisions that are right for them and their families, and at the same time have access to products like annuities, which they want and need. Limiting consumer choice doesn't make sense. Yes, we have some big battles ahead of us. ACLI and NAIFA are on the front lines fighting for our policyholders and making sure policymakers understand our consumer-focused view. But no one has consumers' interests closer to mind and heart than you. And NAIFA has the presence and relationships, not just with members of Congress, but with governors, legislators, and state leaders that are critical to winning this fight. So we need the help of every one of you in the room. You are the perfect spokespeople to tell that story. Our partnership is more important now than ever. Our industry has been a part of American life for generations. We have an incredible purpose, and we are for people. Our success together will be determined by how well we share that message, one that appeals to a modern American family and allays the forces of dissonance today. ACLI is owning that story, and we're sharing with policymakers in Washington, D.C., and in state capitals across the United States. We know you share it. We need your voices. And with your help, we will advance public policies that unlock the next horizon of growth for the life insurance industry, benefiting the largest number of people in the largest way possible. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with you. What a welcome. Thank you.